So today I wanted to hop on here live because for the past couple weeks we've been talking a lot about consistency with your healthy eating. And today what I want to do is really clarify what that means and give you my 6 biggest tips on how to stay consistent with your healthy eating so that you can lose weight, keep it off, which ultimately is going to lead to you having more energy, more confidence in yourself, feeling sexier, and being able to chase around your kids without any energy issues. And I'm super excited to help you, to help get you there. So let's start off by, when I talk about consistency with your healthy eating, I want to quickly talk about what that means. So what that means to me and what I'm trying to convey to you guys is it doesn't mean perfection. I feel like when you hear consistency, it's like, well, how do I stay on my diet? That's not what I mean. What I mean is that about 70 to 80% of the time, you are eating nourishing, healthy foods that are going to give you the energy you want, that are going to keep you as healthy as possible, that are going to help you kill it in the gym. So, and keep your brain nice and healthy and focused. So 70 to 80% of the time you are eating those foods, and then the other part of the time you are making room for foods that you absolutely love that may not be what you consider healthy. So let me give you an example for a second. So let's say that you are a salad person and 70 to 80% of the time you're eating a healthy salad that's full of veggies and full of protein at lunch. But then you might have a couple M&Ms midday because you really love them and you want that. So you see how consistency isn't perfection. It's just being able to stay consistent with your healthy eating by also enjoying the foods that you love and making room for those in a nice balanced way. So that's what I mean when I talk about staying consistent with your healthy eating. Now, what I want to go into are my tips on how to stay consistent. And the first one I want to talk about is, and I have my little notes going here, but I talk a lot about this, but it is super important to incorporate your favorite foods into your diet in a balanced way. And this goes back to the example I just gave. Hi. This goes back to the example I just gave. So it's going to look different based on the individual. So I'm talking generally speaking. So let me give you a personal example. For me, incorporating my favorite foods means having a little something almost daily that keeps me satisfied so I don't feel the need to go overboard on the weekend. So for me, that might be, a Reese's peanut butter cup, or that might be just a small handful of M&Ms, or a tablespoon or two of chocolate chips on a daily basis. And then I make room for my wine on the weekends as well. But for you, that might mean twice a week you enjoy a more indulgent meal. And I don't mean you're gonna go out and you're gonna order fries, a burger, a milkshake, a soda, but maybe you go out to eat and you decide, okay, I'm gonna order a salad, but I'm gonna get a small fry. So it's gonna look different based on you and what your favorite foods are and what's going to set you up for success. And this is just generally speaking, that you got to make room for your favorite foods. Otherwise, you're just never going to stay consistent on your healthy eating. And that is our goal, because consistency with our healthy eating, making room for the foods that we love, eventually equals long-term success, because we don't want the quick fix. We don't want the diet that you're going to lose 5 pounds in 3 days and then over the weekend you're going to gain it back. That's not what we want. And so incorporating your favorite foods into your diet in some way, shape, or form, whether it's small things daily or 2 bigger items, is going to depend on you. The next tip I want to talk about is you've got to make this simple and easy for yourself. Because if you are someone who doesn't meal prep, let's say, and then you're like, all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to meal prep every week and I'm going to make a different meal every night, it's most likely not going to happen. And we want to set you up for success. So this might mean 2 nights a week, you're eating a frozen meal. This might mean 2 nights a week, you're grabbing a rotisserie chicken at the store and some pre-made zoodles and you're just throwing it together. Or for some of us, it could mean making a crock pot meal on Sunday and having it last us throughout the week and using it in different ways. So you really want to simplify and make this easier for yourself, whether that means you have backup frozen meals, whether that means you do one crock pot and use it in different ways, or whether that means you just throw things together for a meal and you're not necessarily cooking, but you're throwing healthy things together. Okay, so easy and simple is the name of the game. That's going to look different based on the person and where you're starting from. I'm going right tip into tip because I don't want to take up too much of your time, but next tip, number 3, satisfaction scale. I talk about this a lot. How I like to frame it is, if you eat a meal and you leave that meal feeling like, oh, that was the worst meal, I hated it, I don't feel satisfied, but that was what was on your diet, unfortunately, it's just not going to last. You have to enjoy what you're eating. And I don't mean that every meal has to be a 10 on the satisfaction scale, but I like to tell my clients a minimum of a 6 on the satisfaction scale and higher, okay? Now, when I talk about satisfaction, I don't mean, you being like, oh, I'm so full and I'm stuffed and it feels great, or I mean that you feel content with what you had, you enjoyed it, and you're not really looking for something else, okay? Because when you leave a meal and you're looking for something else, maybe that meal wasn't satisfying enough. So the tip here is add something small to your meal to up that satisfaction factor. So let me give you an example. One would be, like for me, I like to add some guacamole almost to like everything, because for me, it really ups that satisfaction factor. I have a client, I don't know if she's watching, Nikki, but she used to add like crunchy onions to her salads because it really gave her that satisfaction. So if you're not enjoying what you're eating and you're eating it because you think you're supposed to be eating it, because you want to lose weight, I would encourage you to rethink that and just add something small that's going to bring up the satisfaction factor of your meals, okay? And think about what that might be for you. Super, super important, you guys. Next, creating that balance in your diet. So I'm specifically talking about when you have an event, let's say tonight, right? You're going out with friends, you're gonna have some tacos and some drinks like I did the other night. I made sure to choose lighter options earlier in the day, knowing that I was going to have a heavier meal at night. So I didn't deprive myself, I didn't restrict myself and say I can't have this or I can't have that, but I made it a point to choose lighter options. So for example, instead of a sandwich for lunch, I decided to have a salad. So little tweaks like that, in anticipation of a heavier meal at night. So creating that nice balance. And then also when you have events, prioritizing protein at every meal, vegetables at every meal, hydration at every meal, and then some form of movement throughout the day. So this could look like, the morning could be eggs with some veggies and making sure that you have a glass of water with it. Protein, veggies, hydration, and some form of movement. And it's not because you're thinking in terms of, oh, I need to make sure I'm burning more calories because I'm gonna eat. You don't have to earn your food like that. But it's because movement makes us feel better. It gives us endorphins, and it makes us ultimately make better decisions. And it gives us confidence, and who doesn't want more confidence, right? So prioritizing movement, hydration, veggies, and protein every day, but specifically on days that you know that you might have more of an indulgent meal and you're going out with friends. All right, let's talk about eating to 80% full. This is really a way to help you along with your fat loss without even realizing it, and it helps you stay consistent as well. Let me tell you why. If you're eating too stuffed, 100% stuffed, you leave a meal, you're stuffed, you feel guilty for what you ate, a lot of you are going to restrict yourself the next day. And then you're back on that negative feedback cycle of overindulge, deprivation, overindulge, deprivation. And I want you guys to get away from that, because that is a negative feedback cycle that we don't want in our lives. We just want that nice balance, consistent, okay? So eating to 80% full is gonna help you get off that negative feedback cycle. And when I talk about eating to 80% full, what I mean is you leave a meal when you feel food in your stomach, you feel satisfied, you might still be hungry, but you, sorry, wait, let me rephrase that. I just got caught up in my mind for a second. 80% full, the way that I like to describe it. You feel food in your stomach, you feel satisfied, you could still eat, but you're no longer hungry. Okay? So, like, you might still have food in front of you and you're like, oh, I could definitely polish off that food, but I just don't feel hungry anymore. And don't get me wrong, this takes practice and patience and time, but it really helps you cut down on calories without realizing it by just listening to your hunger signals, which in turn can help you stay consistent and lose weight. So 80% full, super, super important tip. And those are my 6 tips, you guys. We talked about, I want to recap, okay? We talked about how consistency does not mean perfection. It means incorporating your favorite foods into your diet, whether that means a small something daily or some two things larger during the week. It really depends on you, okay? Next, making it easy and simple. So whether that means you have some frozen meals for backup in your freezer, or you run to the store and you grab a rotisserie chicken and you just throw things together, or it might mean you make a crock pot meal on Sunday that lasts you most of the week that you use in different ways. Okay, so simple and easy is the name of the game. Don't try to go from 0 to 100 too quickly, okay, because it won't last. Next is satisfaction scale. Make sure you're feeling satisfied with your meals. It doesn't need to be every single meal. Sometimes we just need to get the job done, but majority of your meals 6 or over out of a 10 on satisfaction, and you can achieve that by adding something small like some crunchy onions to your salad, or maybe it's just a couple nuts to your salad. It's going to be different based on your preferences, okay? Satisfaction scale. Balance and budget, okay? If trying to, knowing that you might have a larger meal or you're going out with friends and you're going to have more caloric meal, choosing lighter options through the day intentionally, preparing because you anticipate more food later in the day. So instead of a sandwich, maybe it's a salad, okay? So creating that balance and budget. And then prioritizing protein, veggies, and hydration at every meal and some form of movement every day, but specifically on the days that you have plans that involve food and drink. And then 80% full, which means you feel food in your stomach, you feel satisfied, you could probably still eat, but you're no longer hungry. And all of these 6 tips, you guys, are going to lead to consistency, which leads to weight loss, which leads to you feeling more confident, more capable in your ability, more energy to run around with your kids or for your relationships in your life. Being able to wake up in the morning and feel excited to get dressed because you can slip on those jeans nice and easy all year round. It means getting up in the morning and feeling like you have a plan for yourself and feeling confident in that. And I want that for all of you. So what I am going to do is invite you guys to come behind the scenes with me. Take a look at my behind the scenes 7-day food, exercise, and self-care journal so that you can see how I use every single one of these strategies to create that consistency and how it helped me lose 60 pounds as well. I want you to be able to see it visually in my behind the scenes journal. So I want to give you the opportunity to see that. So I'm going to put the link here in the comments. You can opt in to see that for free, 100% free, and it's going to show you that. And then it's also going to give you strategies on how to implement this. So it will reiterate some of the things that I just spoke about. And then you will have the opportunity for free to get on the phone with me, walk away with 3 things you're going to implement for you specifically, not for the next person, but because not what works for me might not work for you. So we're going to dive in, we're going to get nitty gritty on you and what your goals are, and 3 things that you can start implementing right away to get consistent, to start moving in the direction of your weight loss goals while still enjoying your social life, because that's what it's about, my friends. So I'm gonna put the link here in the comments. I can't wait to talk to you guys on the phone. I can't wait for you to see my 7-day journal. And by the way, you can see my 7-day journal and just take that and use it in your own life. We don't have to get on the phone, but I wanna give you the opportunity for that because I want you to walk away feeling confident that you have a plan in place. And again, you can do this now. You don't have to wait till January because waiting till January sets up the diet mentality that we're trying to get away from, all right? Let's get you confident. Let's get you more energy. Let's get you confident in the plan that you have in place, your specific plan. And I hope you guys have an awesome Friday. I am gonna go about my day. And if you have any questions, please post them in the comments. I will get back to you. Feel free to privately DM me. But hopefully you guys are gonna take a look at that journal and be like, I can do this. And yeah, let's get after it. So have a nice Friday, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah.